I'll start by saying the film was filmed out in the Indian Ocean. What was that experience like for you as an actor to be out at sea filming a movie?
That was great because as an actor you wanted to become as realistic as possible, and instead of filming in Denmark on a small fictional ship, it's much easier to go down to Somalia, to Africa and shoot down there.
And the actual ship that was used had been involved in hijacking in real life.
Was
that
been
quite
hijacked
eerie?
Before, yeah.
Was that, you know, was it quite an eerie experience knowing that this ship had been involved in hijacking?
It made you feel that you would have to treat this subject with the respect it deserved, and I think we did that.
So in terms of research, did you speak to anyone who'd been involved in a real life hijacking before to kind of get some groundwork?
No, I didn't. I read books about it and I studied on the internet. The reason why I didn't want to talk to people who've been hijacked before is because then I would somehow feel obliged to tell their story, that specific guy's story that I would have talked to. So I just read books and did research.
And because your character really changes physically throughout the film, I was wondering if that was a bit of a challenge for you as an actor. Did you have to because you have to get kind of more fragile as the film goes along, I suppose.
Yeah. Tobias and I, we did a film before the director, Tobias Lindholm. We did a prison film called A, and we were sitting at a festival in Rotterdam where we went to a restaurant, and Tobias, he said, I like this place. And I said, why? Because the chef is fat. And I think when a chef is fat, he likes food, and it's a good restaurant. And I said, okay, that's funny. A little weird, but funny. And then when he came with the script 2 years later, he said, you're going to play a chef. I was like, okay, I'm going to pull your leg. I'm going to gain 19 kilos. So I did. And that's why there's a mental change and a physical change throughout the film. In 6 weeks, I lost 16, 17 kilos while shooting. Wow.
And are you a good chef in real life?
I am now.
Yeah. What's your signature dish?
An omelette.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, because this film is so intense, and I was wondering that when the cameras were off, when you kind of stopped shooting, were you able to kind of have a laugh with the rest of the cast members and the kind of the pirates and stuff? Were you able to just kind of relax, or did it kind of continue beyond the kind of scene?
No, because I didn't want to ruin the. When you're working with amateurs, and most of the cast is amateurs, if you start to crack jokes between takes, you confuse people. So I would prefer that we stayed focused and concentrated. So we weren't telling jokes while shooting.
I thought one of the great things about this movie was that the Somalian pirates' language, when they spoke in their native language, it wasn't subtitled for the audience, which meant we were kind of left a bit uneasy. And I was wondering if you were told what they were saying, or if you were kind of in the same position as your character.
Actually, the way Tobias and I work, I'm not told that much. I create a character like I've done the last couple of times I've done films, and then we just meet up and then we start shooting. It's very simple, actually. A little bit boring as well.
Because you sort of share your co-lead with Soren Malling, but you don't actually film any scenes together. Is it quite weird that you're able to share a hijacking experience to be able to kind of promote the movie together, and yet you didn't actually kind of work on it at all?
No, but I know Soren so well because we did Borgen together. So a lot of people have asked me if it was weird, but I think it must have been more weird for Tobias because he was filming 2 different films. He was filming one on the ship and one at the company. So it must have been more tough for him than it was for Søren and I. Actually, when I read the script 2 years ago, and then I told him that, you know what, the whole story of the CEO, I don't need that. Just give the scenes that I'm a part of and I'll just read that. So I didn't know actually what's going on in the company while we were shooting.
I think Danish cinema at the moment is kind of booming, I think, over here. Especially, I mean, you've had a couple of obviously Oscar nominations and wins with In a Better World and A Royal Affair and obviously The Hunt and now this. What do you think it is about Danish cinema that is just able to resonate so well with kind of British audiences?
If I knew, I would probably be the biggest filmmaker in Denmark. I think it's because the schools are good. And we take our media very serious.
So are you aware that this is quite a strong period for kind of Scandinavian cinema? Is that something that sort of Danish actors and filmmakers are kind of aware of?
It's going well for Danish actors and directors and producers as well. But we just concentrate on telling our own stories, and we're going to keep on doing that.
So any thoughts to maybe come over to England one day and make a movie?
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But now I have to make one more with Tobias.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Appreciated. Thank you.